Voila,
Be on TV, man.
voila,
Be on
yeah.
TV.
Voila. We started this motherfucking shit, nigga. We gon' finish this shit.
Yo. We back.
Niggas is looking at me like I'm
Love
just
Jam Radio.
handing out thumbs ups.
Having a moment with Codac, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, real quick, introduce yourself, homie. Let them people know where they can find you. See some of your artistry.
For sure. I appreciate that, man. Monzel DeAndre, the H-Town Prince, the artist formerly known as Hype Man Z. Yo, tune in with me, Google me. You can find me anywhere at Monzel DeAndre. Man, just tune in. We got some big things coming. So
All day long.
appreciate you.
What you do? Because some people may not know.
Oh, I'm a singer.
You tap dance? Oh, okay. I
I'm a
thought you should say
singer.
like he tap dance. You know,
Hey,
he
you know,
getting it
He
in.
soft
Hey, what's
shoes.
funny? I took tap dancing lessons when I was
No
young.
shit.
I did.
Hey, that is not an easy art form to learn,
Nah,
bro.
it's hard.
We had to do a little bit of that in theater, and this is like, come on, man, my feet ain't meant to do that, bro. That's a gift and a skill that some people have, and some people don't. Come on, man.
I did tap
You know what I'm
dance.
saying?
You like tap dance?
I did it when I was little. It was cool.
Yeah.
It is something that's good for kids to get exposed to, man, just to see different genres instead of just, it's a whole generation of females out there that grew up and they know nothing but twerking. That is
Damn.
facts.
Damn.
I mean, they literally like have twerk teams now,
Oh,
so
bro.
it's like it's a sport.
They got twerk. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
whole
sport.
sport that people be
They have teams
selling
competing
classes for.
against. Facts.
Come learn and exercise while twerking.
Right.
I'm like,
Wow. Who would have known?
but it speaks to the fact that our culture has been known to create some shit that ain't never
Never been
existed
created.
before in life.
Ever.
Prime example, what brought you two guys into existence? The art of hip hop.
True.
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And like they say, we are completely responsible for that genre of music.
At least
Nobody else can say that they had a hand in creating hip hop.
That's big
Facts.
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
one thing they can't take from us, but they
Nigga,
they can take it. They taking it. They took it. This
I mean,
got
but you know what though? It's
but
like you
it's
can't
not-
even really,
it's the history,
you can't
though.
even really make a point about it doing the hip hop because what haven't they?
True.
Name one thing in our culture that they
Hasn't been
openly have
appropriated.
given us credit for.
I mean, a lot of times we haven't given ourselves credit for it as well. For instance, I mean, I sing rock and roll music, but people think that white people created it. Ike Turner was the first rock and roll artist ever. He he literally created rock and roll.
That's why he was so angry.
Was it? I
All
would
rock
beg
and
to
roll
differ.
isn't
I would beg to
angry
differ that
sounding.
it's due to some of his past trauma.
Exactly. Let's bring
You know
that
what I'm
back
saying?
up because
He had to see somebody beat the shit out of somebody
facts.
to really feel that comfortable.
I mean, maybe sometimes people get on them drugs and they just react differently. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I think once you,
I think the
if you
drugs
comfortable
can't
enough to hit a motherfucker, you hit him. That's your nature. Like
Man, them
that's
drugs is a hell of a drug.
not. But don't. Okay.
Drugs give you superpowers.
Yeah, but does it make people that's not normally violent?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I have to take your word for it.
It is
It's-
mind altering.
It's
Yeah,
I mean, just think of like drunk people. Some people be calm as hell when they sober, and they get drunk and they ready to beat somebody. Yeah.
True.
So it's
Drink.
I would say that it just is. It does nothing but bring out. Drug removes a lot of the inhibitions that we walk around with on a daily basis. So a lot of the stuff could just be laying dormant. Because I'll tell anybody, man, and this is to be honest, we all just a decision away from being psycho and crazy.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? We all just a decision away from the person who killed 20 people. Because there's probably way over 20 people that in that moment you may have thought or said even verbally, I'm going to kill your motherfucking ass. You feel what I'm saying? But it was just an outward expression of anger.
In a
You
moment.
feel what I'm saying? In that time, but you made a decision not to follow through.
I think
You feel me?
I'm gonna grab my shovel here and
All right.
dig around the rabbit hole and go a little deeper to something you said about Ike must have seen somebody whooping somebody's ass, and I'm like, it's almost innately in us as a people because of slavery. So it's like if we go all the way back to then and how that what a black man saw the white man doing to other black men to teach them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it was started then.
Right.
You know,
because
the violence.
we don't realize how connected to our ancestors we really are. Like
True.
I was telling somebody this the other day. Like, it's crazy how when I was a child, I never knew anything about slavery or anything like that, but I knew to be timid around white people. It was natural. The minute they got around me, I felt uncomfortable. Like something needs to change within me, or the desire to look a certain way, or that was like a natural feeling. That was before I knew about slavery and racism. I think
Something
it's
you was
some
already tapped
connection
into.
to
learned behavior.
Well, she said it was before. It was. What if it's innately in us, like in our DNA? Like,
I get that, but what I mean is, you got to think about one. We are visual learners before we're anything else.
True.
Before audio plays a part, we are visual.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Now in the womb, it is completely
auditory,
kinetic,
mm-hmm.
energetic. You feel what I'm saying? Because the sound coming into the womb is nothing but vibration. You feel what I'm saying? There's no deciphering between the fact that it's actual audible words that are and letters put together to yada yada yada. You feel what I'm saying? Because like when you talk, you can put your hand on certain parts of your body and feel nothing but vibration.
Right.
You feel me? But as being visual learners, from the time you come out of the womb, think about how many people in your environment are responding these ways that you are being conscious or subconsciously aware of. Mm-hmm. So by default, you pick up on those traits.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Energetically, you feel the different energy when a white person come around, and you could be looking at your mama, daddy, uncle, cousin, or whatever the case can be, because they respond this way, and it's not verbal. Because like they say, body language speak way louder than what you say.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? You really have to be consciously aware enough to even sometimes disguise your body language to not give off where you can't fake it till you make it in. You know what I'm saying? Certain scenarios.
Like when you're uncomfortable, you actually might.
You learn how to still compose yourself.
Right.
You feel me?
You know what I've learned? No matter where you are, the way you dress, people treat you a certain way.
Oh, man.
So if you are around a lot of white people and they're dressed business casual and you aren't, it's not that the white people they hate you or you know what I'm saying, they don't want to be around you, or you're like, you don't fit in to this situation, to this area. You can't come in here with
that's their perception of
not necessarily.
Because the person that's not dressed business casual could be the person who's already a business owner or a fucking CEO, or they don't have the purpose or going into the situation not being the dominant party. Like when you're the dominant party, you're the one that sets the tone to where you're not the one standing out. It's the other motherfucker standing out.
That's true, but you know the difference.
I do know the difference.
And I think
I just strive to not be in business casual.
No, but I'm just saying. But I think the bigger point. I think the bigger point that can be taken from that is just about being well groomed and presentable, regardless of what your attire may be. You can be in some street shit because now we've been able to. Our culture has been able to make that acceptable and damn near popular to where you never seen before niggas wearing suits with tennis shoes.
Right.
But now you see it the whole war show, red carpet. A nigga will really get away with a whole suit.
CEOs are doing
and
it
some
now.
Tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Come on. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just think it's just about being well groomed. You're not gonna fit in any business environment if you're not well groomed or looking presentable. Right. Regardless of what your attire. You feel what I'm saying?
Gotta be presentable.
Because even if your suit is fucked up, you got your shirt halfway hanging out. Your suit ain't real. They still gonna look at you like you don't belong.
They still gonna look at you like you don't belong.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of things that we're becoming way more comfortable to kind of pull off and do. You feel what I'm saying? Kind of culturally getting over some of that past trauma, but I think it's due to the exposure to information of us being able to discover some things that once were that we were not just generally told to us, that wasn't generally just taught. You feel what I'm saying? Because even to the fact of, like, it's this one comic book company, Black Sands, and he real big on, like, he don't subscribe to showing shit about slavery. He like, I feel you, but I can give two fucks about slavery anymore. He was like, that narrative has been pushed to the extreme. Why are we still stuck on the fact that our history is slavery? You feel what I'm saying? When there's a whole history of us, melanation, before slavery. You feel what I'm saying? But to me, it just speaks to how just traumatic that trauma was.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Super traumatic. Like the Holocaust. That's like telling the Jews, get over it. It didn't happen. Y'all run Hollywood and have 85% of ownership.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Why is it the narrative in America to where they really will not tell Jews to get over that, but there is no openly acceptance of the effects that slavery has had? Because it is a lot of white people that'll tell you, hey, you wasn't in slavery, so how can you really actually feel some type of way?
Right.
But then that's when you start talking about spirit, energy, you know what I'm saying, memory from just.
Yeah, we have lived many lives. We've all experienced it.
But also, when you've grown up with parents who have grown up from another generation, who's grown up from another generation, who
were slaves.
Exactly.
We're not that far removed. Unfortunately.
That was just what
five generations ago.
Yeah,
it would have to be maybe for
probably.
You.
So this is to 2021,
and it's not so much about get over. It's like it has really affected Black people, like for real.
Like for real.
That's why we can't get over it because we can't get over it because we're still seeing the aftermath of it. Like the systematic stuff that was placed during those times, even when it was transitioning from not so much as slavery to, just us having our rights. And you know what I mean? It never really.
So let me make sure this to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Some will argue there really is no aftermath effect in this society today because you have a vast amounts of extremely wealthy Black people. Like when you talk about, and these are the extremes here, so we're just playing devil's advocate. You have your Beyoncés, your Jay-Z.
Now, what about 20 years ago?
You feel what I'm saying?
30, 40.
No, I mean,
that's
I feel
why she
you.
said it was there's been progression, but what about all the, before the progression?
That too.
I mean,
before the progression. And also, they only let, and this is in the great words of the late Paul Mooney, they only let niggas have a little bit of fun. Even Beyonce had the whole New York police department at one point against her. Their reach only goes so far before they start seeing the penalty of it. Bill Cosby, for example, was trying to buy a whole network, and they were like, whoa, he has way too much money, and they got him together real quick. Sat that ass down.
Yeah. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't see that. We're not owning property talking about. We might be having we might have some wealth, but we're not owning shit. We might have wealth, but we're just now.
I would say collectively no. Collectively no. For us to really be able to say we have a Black community, but there are some that are definitely making strides to, it's even a chick out here in Houston, Matasha, she a real estate agent. She really is buying whole neighborhoods. Now, I get it. At
that's one point, no, for sure. If she would even brought that out as an idea, for sure, everything in her life probably would have got topsy-turvy, nigga. Them motherfuckers is not.
I'm gonna ask y'all, is it true? Because y'all really into hip hop. Is it true the last 3 hip hop artists, young, was all about to be on buying some networks, and mysteriously, this is how they met their demise? That's a conspiracy theory that's out there right now. That's floating through the internet. They the last 3.
Those are all Empire artists. I will say that. They were all signed under the same label.
Were they?
Yes. They were all Empire.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. They were Empire artists.
Do we know
that
if they
changes things?
Do we know if they own their masters?
I don't believe they. Only Young Dolph, I think, might have been the only one that owned his masters.
Who talking about Young Dolph?
Mo3.
Who else?
Who's the?
DMX?
No.
but I
They
get
didn't
it.
kill DMX. Pop Smoke.
Oh, Pop Smoke.
Oh yeah.
Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke.
The list goes on.
I mean,
all the Chicago niggas, like
they was on some.
Vaughn.
The only one that I really think that may have been on that was Dolph. Maybe Dolph had a lot of money.
Yeah, he had money.
Dolph had
he already
money.
had money.
Yeah.
But
before he became an artist.
Yeah, he had the money. That money helped him become an artist.
Right.
So
in real life.
So is it just niggas being niggas? Or is it really some conspiracy theory where they saying a lot of these last 2 artists was working on either A, buying their masters to shit, B, buying on some network shit,
To
like
me,
trying
I'm
to
like, that's
acquire.
why they say take your ass away from your hood, because I think all of them went back.
They all died in they well,
hood.
Not Pop Smoke.
Nipsey
Pop Smoke
Hussle
died. Pop Smoke died in
hood.
L.A.
I think the Nipsey Hussle thing had some conspiracy shit to it.
Behind it.
I do.
For facts, because it was too easy for him. I think it was too easy for him to have access to Nip like that, which Nip was accessible.
Not like that.
But to my understanding,
they always gonna pull the first time they displayed it to us in blatant hindsight with a huge figure was Malcolm X. They'll always find that token nigga.
Right, facts. Because to my understanding, he was exiled.
Malcolm X?
No, the dude that shot Nipsey.
Exiled from the hood.
From the hood.
Already being known as
Yeah, I think he was already exiled. So that's on some nigga, what you doing here? Nip like, what you, all right, nigga, that's cool, but what you doing here? That's cool. Nah, you can't rock with me, bro. You're not supposed to be here. And then he circled the block, bow. I think it was already set up to try to see how accessible he was.
To see how close a nigga
he could really get to him. Because
they were saying the police paid off, like the police were involved, like it was a setup because he was buying up and inspiring niggas to buy up and organizing niggas together. And
I didn't even know that he had created that school with T.I. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Not T.I.
Who was it?
It's somebody from the West Coast.
I forgot
can't think of who it is.
But anyway, I didn't know they could created a whole hip hop school. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Where they learning the whole scope of what it takes to do the music. You feel what I'm saying? Exactly. So I mean, I can see why, because at the end of the day, like I say, they still benefiting off of. They just took away the chains
and replaced them with gold chains and things.
Well,
because that's what
mentally they was just able to do. You feel what I'm saying? The deal with gold, I ain't gonna lie, it's like after learning and a lot from watching Derrick Gracie and getting some education, one, our culture was already up on that shit. That's how they got hip to it. That's why they was come over there raping the land for it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So to an extent, I think that's a connection to our ancestry as far as being attracted to that type of bling bling. You feel what I'm saying? Shit. You feel what I'm saying? We come from a culture that used to adore ourselves with that. So that's not really created by them, but I get what you mean. The sad part about it, like I said, a lot of niggas was buying shit that really wasn't valuable. You feel what I'm saying? They'll be more worried about the bling of the shit than the actual weight and substance of the precious metal. But Derrick Gracie put a lot of niggas on game with that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Fuck the diamonds, bro.
Right. That
get
shit
you know what I'm saying?
Just the weight of it.
Yeah, that pure gold. Because now you got something that's going to retain its value. It's not going to depreciate like half or 75%.
Because it got diamonds on it.
No, I'm saying gold
just
within
period.
itself.
I'm saying it depreciates more with diamonds.
Well, it just ain't go. It start off not being really worth nothing. They may have sold it to you for a lot for cosmetic value, but I know when I went over to Dubai, and I don't know if you got a chance to go over to one of those countries over there. That's where you'll really see how much shit is really valued at, because they are not valuing things for its cosmetic look. Here in America, it's all about the show.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Over there, it's all about the actual real quality. You feel what I'm saying? So,
interesting.
Yeah, but going back to the whole past trauma, you feel what I'm saying? We've seen, if you just open your eyes a little bit, we can see the effects. Even if it's not us directly, indirectly, through the culture, through other individuals, we can just see how if you don't kind of really get a check, and it's, what they may call in the spiritual world, quote unquote, people having other words or definitions for it, that, what they call it, shadow work. You feel what I'm saying? Where you basically dig deep, go back, see how things may have affected you in your, you know what I'm saying? Just go back. It is not to relive for the sake of reliving and hashing it out, but just to see if you can think from with a mature mind. You know what I'm saying? Think about some of the scenarios that happen in your life at those times that you may have been impressionable or that really just had a deep effect on you.
Right.
And how that could have possibly altered and dictated a lot of things that you do today, right now.
And
you know
are they healthy things? Because I feel like, because I was talking to my sister about this, I was like, you know, there's things about me, like the accountability, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was like super with the accountability and super literal and always like pushed that in my head to where, like, you know, as a grown person now, you know, she like tortured me with it though. Like, not tortured me, but like it was an insane amount of accountability that was unrealistic for me to keep. And I always felt like I was not enough, didn't do enough, was a failure. You know what I'm saying? And later on, you know, that kind of drive is what made me kind of like be more successful, because I had that self-discipline. I had that constantly telling myself, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, there's fucked up trauma, but does it always manifest into something that's not helpful or something that ends up making you be successful? Because all like successful people didn't just live their life trauma free. You know what I'm saying? Like, most
Pressure
people
make
in their
diamonds.
stories, like when they tell their story, great, you know, people that like create or achieve these great feats, they're usually people who fucking have been through some shit, nigga.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And the average person will buckle and fall to pieces.
Yeah,
right.
Facts.
And I do think it has to be a conscious awareness of what you may have experienced and taking the good from that, in a sense, or the benefit. You feel me? But if it's unchecked, it can be having a great effect on your success that you could be having. You feel what I'm saying?
Just how do people know? Like, how do you think people know? Like, how do you, as a person, know? Like,
it's different for everybody. I say that it's definitely different for everybody. You feel what I'm saying? But you can start to look at just those things that if you was honest with yourself without trying to be super critical, you feel what I'm saying, to the point where it's not beneficial. Because there is a stage of that where you can just be too self-critical, where it's not beneficial because all you're doing is beating up on yourself.
Correct.
You feel what I'm saying?
The fine line there.
If you can just look at those areas in your life that you really ain't too excited about, just being honest with you damn near know yourself better than anybody else. You feel what I'm saying? You can go back to start deciphering and just, like I say, reverse engineering. How did I get to this point? You know what I'm saying? What led me up to here? And do some work there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's everybody. Shit, me, myself. It'd be a daily moments of self-reflection. You feel what I'm saying? While trying to really decipher how can I really get where I'm going the way that I want to get there. Because you can still get there, but will you be in the state of mind and position that you would really love to be in while in that place? You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, you can go and get the $1 million home, but if you ain't really in a place, this may get
ugly quick.
You know what I'm saying? You made it, but you
got a pool,
stay.
but
you feel what I'm saying?
You
So
can't swim in it.
Hey.
Can't hire the maintenance to keep it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it definitely takes some work, man. You know what I'm saying? To go back and just try to reflect on some of these things. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know what really sprung this top of this conversation, but maybe somebody needs to hear something. You feel what I'm saying?
Facts.
Think on some shit. Maybe you go back and look at
you can identify your trauma, do the work, and unwire the programming that came with it.
Right.
But like I said, the hard part, I feel like, for most people is probably identifying that problem, because most people walk around with complete unawareness that they even have a fucking problem, or that a behavior that they have is dangerous, or, you know, they're completely unaware.
Yeah.
And that's the most scariest part. Like, that toxicity shit is real, and motherfuckers are completely think it's normal.
Right.
Think it's cool to put your hands on people when you in a relationship with them, and y'all, you know, like,
well, I will say this.
Right.
I will say this. I think their willingness to neglect urges is more relevant. But I don't know if I would really say it's because they really unaware. You know what I'm saying?
Aware?
Because it's almost like, well, to the laws of the universe, that'd be unfair.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? You know, but you may really just not give a fuck. And that's it. And that's at its core. I don't care.
But then it's like, how
the
can
risk,
you
because
know?
I want that so bad. I'm willing to take whatever risk that is. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I may just get really good at disguise and hiding, avoiding. You know what I'm saying? Bobbing and weaving, like you say, all them serial killers, to be able to get away with it for so long.
Right.
They've learned to move in certain types of ways to where, hey, ain't too many people gonna find out until it's
past the statute of
30 years later.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
I've been watching fun. I know. I've been watching Cold Case all the motherfucking time. That's my shit. I was like, damn. We're gonna live their best life, and then all of a sudden the feds at the door for some shit you done damn near forgot you did. Like, damn, I got that body 35 years ago. I didn't even know what I showed didn't kill that nigga. I don't even know where I put the yeah, right. What was the murder weapon? Where did I put that? Do I need to hide anything? For real.
Yeah, facts.
Trauma. I think trauma is something everyone experiences. It's just everyone. It manifests differently with everybody.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Pride.
Become self-aware.
Mm-hmm. Is there such thing as healthy trauma? Is there?
Oh, most definitely. You spoke about healthy trauma.
Is that what we're gonna call it though? Is that like something we're coining?
No, because I put it like this: we just got to be aware of the process.
I think trauma is defined as a negative experience.
Yeah, that's why I said healthy trauma.
So I don't think
it's like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it like makes sense though.
Yeah. I mean, kind of. It's like calling somebody pretty ugly. So
no,
pretty
because
ugly.
That's an opinion. That's an opinion. Sure. You feel what I'm saying? That's all depending on who looking at who and what your perception is. But in a sense of saying good trauma, I would say this: if we start to move away from so much of defining good and bad, and we just look at the process. We are just unaware of what some of these things that need to happen and what that process is. But it's good in a sense when you look at blowing glass. I don't know if you ever seen it.
I watched that.
That furnace got to get really hot.
Yeah.
That glass has to really, that heat has to be, but the outcome is, you know what I'm saying? Mold and clay. A lot of things. Diamonds. It was cold. A lot of pressure. A lot of heat. Of course, that process is unattractive. Even walking from a newborn.
Yeah.
You feel me? Potty training a dog. You gotta let this mug piss in your house at least once or twice. So it's gonna have to happen.
So you can
it's gonna have to happen. But this is the process. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's just like become aware of some past trauma. Because I just think it's only unhealthy when it's unchecked and you're kind of unaware, because it can be having an at first effect on your triumph that you want to have, and you allowing this thing to dictate how that success, how fast it can come, and the level of success that you could have. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So it's really only relevant to an extent if you actually want something for yourself, you actually want something for your life,
or even your ability to have personal relationships with people.
Only if you give a fuck. If you don't care, you don't care.
Jeez,
but if you looking to have positive, healthy relationships, that's what you want. You feel what I'm saying? Then it's worth digging deep, sometimes taking a look back at some of these past things that could be affecting you adversely without your awareness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But appreciate y'all tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a moment with Codac. You feel me? Few guests came on, said their piece. I'm talking about y'all look out for more from either one of them, man. Synchronicity is it ain't never gonna be no bullshit on Not a Moment with Codac.
Hey.
You feel what I'm saying? It's always gonna be some wealth. You know what I'm saying? Some value. But we appreciate y'all, man. As always, we love the Jam Radio, man. #1 indie.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Coming out of the H-Town, going global, universal. See us in the metaverse, baby.
Hey.
You feel me? We